Hello, bruvs. We're back with new book arrivals and a train whistle. Number 290. Half of these books are not new book arrivals, but I picked them up. Well, I got them at the same place I got these, my new bookshelves. It is from a relative of a relative, put it that way. But they're new, but not new. I got them about 3 weeks ago, but I need to clear space. So when I bring in new stuff, I leave this little gossip chair next to my main little table here, just so I can read and stuff. So 290 new book arrivals. And I will start with these. Really don't feel like reading Anne Heche's bullshit tonight, but probably will after I'm done with this. All right, let's do it. These are the ones I actually bought this week. This one I paid $5 for at an estate sale, but I bought it along with a old newspaper that I featured on here, and that was only $1. So my rationale is that this book was only $3. But it has a couple things on here that are interesting to me. Can't really read what this says. What's it say? Flying. Fuck does that say? Alright, maybe it's not in English. E. Edward Frank. I don't know what that says. Something New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. Ward Place. Anyway, there was this inside there too. A University of Michigan telephone call, probably from the 60s or 70s. And this is Myths and Their Meaning by Max J. Herzberg, Allen and Bacon Company. Probably 1930s. 1931. Cool little illustrated book. It's going to need some sun to get the must out of it. The musty smell. It's pretty stinky. But, cool little book. It was sitting in a box in the old basement of an estate sale that I'm going back to tomorrow that has a shitload of bottles, old dairy bottles. Mary Seacole, I assume. Wonderful Adventures of Mrs. Seacole in Many Lands. Is this a Sister Pirate? Who is he? Wonderful Adventures of Mrs. Seacole in Many Lands, 1857, is the autobiography of a Jamaican woman. Yes, it is a sister. Whose fame rivaled Florence Nightingale's during the Crimean War. Mary Seacole traveled widely before eventually arriving in London, where her offer to volunteer as a nurse in the war was met with racism and refusal. Undaunted, she set out independently to the Crimea, where she acted as doctor and mother to wounded soldiers while running her business, the British Hotel. Ave Maria by Moffat. Ave Maria, Thoughts on the Mysteries of the Holy Rosary. This book I'll definitely read since I have a bunch of, I now have a shitload of books on the apparitions at, I can't remember, I looked that up. But to me, this falls in line with the same thing as ghosts and anything else considered paranormal. I don't know why people don't see this as paranormal, whether you believe in religion or not. What year is this book? 1957. Thoughts on the Mysteries of the Holy Rosary. Short book, so it could be read rather quickly. Fourth, the carrying of the cross. Third, the crowning with thorns. 12 years had passed since the blessed night when the angels sang the joyous tidings of the Savior's birth. All right, so put this on my reading list. What we got next? A Matter of Iodine by David Keith. $1 book that I got at the thrift store. I don't know why people don't pick these books up. David Keith, A Matter of Iodine. I thought it was going to be like a medical tract, but it seems to be fiction almost. Rain was falling in torrents the morning after my arrival in Paris. I breakfasted in bed, as I always do. Yeah, see? I think it's just fiction. I don't know why it's called A Matter of Iodine. Maybe it's all about iodine. I don't know. Anyway, I got me a nice old book for $1. Cassell. As I mentioned, the apparitions at Medjugorje. I don't know how to say it. What do you got, buddy? Does anybody know anything about this Medjugorje? I keep finding books on this, and I keep getting them just because I've started getting them. So, Father René Laurentin, renowned theologian and historian of apparitions, comments on this, his latest book on Medjugorje. I know I'm botching that. The title of this book calls for an explanation. The 10 secrets being revealed to the seers are apparently serious. Most of them announce difficulties which weigh on our times. In abandoning itself more and more to sin, the world is operating on the edge of self-destruction. According to the seers, the revelation of the 10 secrets will commence with 3 warnings, the third being a visible and permanent sign at the site of the first apparitions. Was Chernobyl one of the warnings, one asks? No, because the first warning will be revealed before the event happens, say the seers. So this kind of goes in with prophecy too, huh? I thought these were just isolated things, but these are supposedly part of prophecy or something like that. I don't know. A merciful delay for a world in danger. Manuel Puig, Kiss of the Spider Woman. I bought a book on Puig, a nonfiction book. I don't know if it was about his movies or what, but now I have this. Kiss of the Spider Woman. I have no clue what this book's about. The best known work of Manuel Puig, the brilliantly inventive Argentine novelist. Wait, I'm thinking of another person. But yeah, I do have some book on Puig as well. It's a graceful, intensely compelling novel about love and victimization. In an Argentine prison, 2 men share a cell. Molina, a gay window dresser who is self-centered, self-denigrating, yet charming as well, and Valentine, an articulate, fiercely dogmatic. Total fucking. The Rule of the Aurora King, which I plan to sell. Don't know what it's about, but I know it's one of these books by one of these kind of ladies who freed from the golden dragon that murders Persephone and the queen at the same time. Look at this shit. They draw the little maps. I mean, J.R. Tolkien really opened the fucking Pandora's box of rubbish. Lore. I hurl the vase with all my strength, missing the Aurora Prince's head by just a hair. He lifts his arms to deflect the blow, and it explodes against the wall, peppering him with shards of broken porcelain. I lunge for a nearby table, attempting to snatch up a small crystal dish when he's on me. All right, that's all I need to know. Battle scene. T.C. Boyle, T. Corrigan Boyle, a friend of the earth. I believe I got this for 50 cents since it was half off on yellow tags. Fiction. Is it fiction or isn't it? Praise for the work of T.C. Boyle, America's most imaginative contemporary novelist, one of the most inventive and verbally exuberant writers of his generation. Boyle may be the most entertaining writer in America. Tried to read some T.C. Boyle before. I was not impressed. Prologue. I'm out feeding the hyena her kibble and chicken backs and doing what I can to clean up the lid from after the latest storm. When the call comes through, it's Andrea Knowles Cotton Tearwater, my ex-wife, my wife of 1,000 years ago. When I was young and vigorous and relentlessly virile, the woman who routinely chained herself to cranes and bulldozers and $700,000 feller buncher machines back in the time when we thought it mattered. The woman who helped me raise my daughter. The woman who made me crazy. Jesus Christ, if somebody has to come, couldn't it be Tio? He'd be easier. Him I could just kill. Bang, bang. And then Lily would have something more than chicken backs for dinner. Yeah. You get the hint. The World Book Treasury of Classics, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Obviously, Lewis Carroll. The hell's that? Oh, it's just a shadow. Illustrated classic. Presumably not abridged, but I probably should have looked. Clothing styles change, and so do styles in music and dancing, and in automobiles and furniture. What's in today may well be out tomorrow. What should I pay for this? 99? Yes. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to attempt to buy 22 books a day for 9 straight days for a total of 198 plus 2. We'll see if I can do it. I left the poll earlier and it said most people said I should only get 100 books, but why go low? Shooting Star Sports Illustrated. The Amazing Life of Anne Marston by Alana Palazewski. And the only reason why I got this is because it's sold before and it is signed by Alana, so I will plan to sell this. If I get 10, 12 bucks out of it, that'd be great. If not, I have a signed book for 49 cents. That's how I see things. Cormac McCarthy, Stella Maris. Obviously, first edition since it was only written about 3 years ago. Or published anyway. First edition, manufactured in Canada. Is this not a U.S. first edition? Or is it just published in Canada? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Obviously, it's a novel by the person who wrote No Country for Old Men, All the Pretty Horses, etc., etc. I'll probably never read it, but I'll put it on my shelf with other Cormac McCarthy books as a collectible. I mean, No Country for Old Men was a pretty damn good movie, but it hasn't sent me running to read the book. This book I picked up the other day at my usual good store where I only found one book. Gods and Thrones. Nakash? Nachash? Forgotten Prophecy and the Return of the Elohim. I assume aren't those angels or those giants? Are the Elohim giants? From the first chapter to the last, Gods and Thrones and exhilarating. What really happened in the Garden of Eden, and how is it connected to clear New Testament declarations as well as today's global headlines? Hint, it wasn't a talking snake convincing a woman to eat an apple. What devastating event actually caused God to push the reset button during the days of Noah's flood? What did Jesus mean when he said the period just before his return would be just like the days of Noah? Relatively new book. As far as what year it was written. No, it's 2017. I just picked it up. It's an interesting topic. Don't have to read it. Don't have to believe it. This book I kind of got for free from a free library sort of thing. The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. Only because I recognize the title. The Frozen River. I think I've sold this book before. I kind of plan on selling this too. Hoping it might, but it tisn't. Momax, you're back. Lucky us. There's a split in the binding. Well, there goes all my prospects of selling this fucking book. It just went with the splitting of the fucking thing. Well, guess this one's going on the reading list. He. Well, I got it for free, so what the fuck? The Frozen River. Compelling and uncozy mystery that addresses the unbalanced power dynamics of men and women, rich and poor. Maine, 1789, when the Kennebec River freezes, entombing a man in the ice. Martha Ballard is summoned to examine the body and determine cause of death. As a midwife and healer, she is privy to much of what goes on behind closed doors in Hollowell. Her diary is a record of every birth and death. These I'm definitely fucking selling, and I'm not going to open them so they don't split like I just split that last fucker into pieces. These I actually paid $2 a piece with the hope that I would find the third in this trilogy, and then I can sell it for like 30 or 40 bucks, but time will tell if I can find it. I don't know what the third book is because I'd never heard of these until I saw it. The Poppy War. Okay, what's the third one then? See what this says. Nah, this one's not going to have it, is it? Author. What's the third motherfucking book? Thanks, Train. The Train tried to answer me. I don't really understand whistle, though. Anyway, there's 3 of these, and I don't really care what they're about because I know what they're about. They're just this fucking weird genre of, what's it called? Not sci-fi, but fantasy. Take your clothes off. Rin blinked. What? The proctor glanced up from his booklet. Cheating prevention protocol. He gestured across the room to a female proctor. Go with her if you must. Rin crossed her arms tightly across her chest, walked toward the second proctor. She was led behind a screen, patted thoroughly to make sure she hadn't packed test materials up any orifices, and then handed a formless blue sack. Put this on, said the proctor. Is this really necessary? Rin's teeth chattered as she stripped. The exam smock was too large for her, the sleeves draped over her hands so that she had to roll them up several times. Yes, the proctor motioned for her to sit down on a bench. Last year, 12 students were caught with papers sewn into the linings of their shirts. We take precautions. Open your damn mouth. It doesn't say damn, but should have. And these go into the old new collection from People's. I probably shouldn't open these books because a lot of them had the owner's name, and I'm trying not to give away their name. This is obviously a reproduction of, maybe it isn't. Is this from 1931 and 32? I didn't think so, but now looking at it, it's possible. Father Coughlin was I don't know, some people I think called him a Nazi, but I don't think he was a Nazi. Or a fascist. Wasn't he in line with the Italians? But he was also a priest. I don't know. One day I plan on doing something on Father Coughlin, since he was a Detroit icon of sorts. March 1932, published, but this, I mean, is this 1932? Doesn't seem like it, but it could be. Seems to me it's a reprint, but that's that. Polish Cookery, I believe this has a name in it. Don't want to see the name. I am half Polish, so, but most Polish food does not fucking sit well with me. Like, what's that shit? Kapusta. My mother used to make that. Didn't like it at all. Not a big fan of pierogi. I'm sure there's some stuff that's Polish that I don't even know is Polish, but anyway, I got it just because I'm Polish. Or half Polish. Years of Faith, the ethnic heritage and history of 10 Catholic parishes of Detroit. Since I'm from the Detroit area, I picked it up. St. Teresa. It's odd to have a book with colored photos. Detroit, Michigan, Bubba. Hudson's. Hub of America's Heartland. Nope, don't look at that. Got a name tag. Don't want to give away the name here. Jean Madden Patron. Hudson's was Detroit's largest, but it's also one of the nation's largest department stores, you can see. And then it eventually branched out to the suburbs as Detroit became a segregated city after the riots. And they started moving to malls, and that was basically their downfall. The fuck are you typing here? Don't be a nuisance. Don't be a nuisance, bruv. National Geographics. All right, I don't know if I have that book. I don't think I do. Why did they name it? Hannah Campbell. An entertaining history of the brand names which have become an integral part of American homes, delightfully illustrated with reproductions of old-time advertisements. So don't be a nuisance and just type bullshit. Borden Milk and Elsie the Cow. Don't care. I assume the name was Borden. Maxwell House Coffee. Joel Cheek was a traveling salesman with a wholesale grocery firm. I don't care what they named it. I will care at some point, but not right now. The Book of Lists. David Wallace Chinsky and Irving Wallace and Amy Wallace. Why did I get this one? You didn't see that? Yeah, it's just a book of lists. Famous non-murder trials. Socrates, Galileo, Salem witches. The Book of Lists. This book I already have 4 or 5 copies, but I could not resist getting it. Frederick Douglass was from Detroit. What the fuck is this? He just came to visit Detroit. That's fucking great hair, buddy. I like it. Ulysses S. Grant definitely lived in Detroit. Yeah, this is a good book. I've read this one before. Women's City Club of Detroit recipe book. I don't know whose name that is, but I'm still not going to show it. 1946 and 1947. Molded mock clam chowder, sardine canopies, soups, halibut julienne, white butter cake. I'm going to play Phantom Forces, but I'm going to stay on the stream. All right, buddy, you do that. Immigration, Separation, Healing. Bog Daf Malos. Bogdan Malos. Harlow of Detroit. The hell is this? The Reverend Edward Sobolewski. Orchard Lake School System. All right, so that's in Metro Detroit, obviously. I don't know what this healing's all about, but Catholic priest who came to the United States from his native Poland in 1986, the former Archbishop of Detroit. Right then. How to write letters for all occasions. Nameplate is hidden. Thank you for such a quick confirmation of our telephone agreement. The letter you referred to in last night's conversation has not yet reached us. In reply to your letter of May 6, we are sorry to say that. We are sorry about the garment you described in your letter of July 8 cannot be repaired. This book I have at least 1 or 2 copies of, so I don't know why I took it, just because it was going to get donated to a thrift store, so I took it. I never had a dull moment in Detroit. Well, motherfucker. You obviously never got called to jury duty. Reward your friends and punish your enemies. I think that's a pretty good political rule. The forwards. Oh, holy shit. Old Polish legends retold by F.C. Anstruther. This one I'll probably read, possibly. Nice. She's flying. The hell is she, a witch? The Legend of Wanda, who drowned herself rather than marry a German. The Legend of Krakus, who slew the dragon. These are rather short, aren't they? 1991 by Hippodrene. Detroit's Belle Isle. I'm going to go to the first page. Avoid the name. Obviously, Detroit's Belle Isle was once a grand little island inside of the Detroit River. It's not so grand now, but it's been somewhat restored to feasibility and isn't like a crack haven anymore. See ya, bruv. Yeah, old parks were amazing. I mean, just look at that. Imagine being at a place where that was the building at the park. and the beach. The Polish Americans, introductory essay by Daniel Patrick Moynihan. The Peoples of North America, tradition and faith. Life in America. A Nation of Nations. Now we come to the big coffee-sized books. This one isn't quite it. Detroit in its world setting, a 300-year chronology. And I'm trying to avoid showing names in these books. So Detroit in its world setting. Oh, this is kind of just like this. That's boring. I remember looking through it and saying that was kind of chintzy. Why even publish a book? I mean, it's kind of like a timeline, but Jesus Christ. At least give a page on the subject. That's embarrassing. Yeah, this is honestly a waste of paper and ink. Hey, we're going to tell you what Detroit is about in one sentence fragment. A 300-year, I guess it does say chronology, doesn't it? But goddamn, that's embarrassing. Embarrassing. When Eastern Michigan rode the rails, Jackie Schramm, William Henning, Richard Andrews. I agree that the old interurbans were fucking amazing. They should bring these back. I mean, you could go like 100 miles anywhere across the state, like within, I think you could go all the way from top to the bottom of the state in a couple hours just on these trains. And they weren't like a train, they were just like trolleys. Really should bring those back. Because I would take these, just go to a city an hour away. That'd be fucking brilliant. Don't have to worry about driving. The interurban. Look into those if you've never heard about the interurbans. They were amazing. There's another one. Detroit Street Railways, 1922 to 1956. But they had these going everywhere. You could literally like go to lunch in the next city over without having to drive. Pfeiffer's beer. That's brilliant. Look at that. Is that a bus or a limo? Limo bus. Back when Detroit was a real city. Where's that going from? What's it say? Doesn't say anything. I can't read it. Is this even Michigan or is this just the railways? No, it's Detroit. Special. That's what it says. Special. Grand River and Myers. Look at that. Gratiot. All right, that's 35 minutes in. That's enough time. I have cleared these books out of my.